very quickly, we also realized that we couldn't do that by ourselves. The employees of the Conway Human Development Center were the frontline workers. We were fighting the battle every day. But it takes a lot of support from a lot of different people and a lot of different groups and agencies to make all that happen. I have those people or the representatives of those people sitting behind me today. And I'm going to go through that list very, very quickly. Then we're going to ask each one of these folks to say a few words. The first group I want to talk about is our CHDC parents. I don't know that I can find the words. These guys, whether you know it or not, they are relentless, folks. If you're a CHDC parent, you should be so proud of the fight that you fought with this battle, because I'm convinced that the DOJ thought they were going to crack you when they came in. They thought they were going to find some weak spots and that they were going to find themselves a way in, and they didn't do it. You made hundreds of thousands of phone calls. You wrote hundreds and thousands of letters. Many of you traveled to Washington, D.C. to talk to our representatives many times over this 8 years. Do you know that the Department of Justice did not have one parent, one client, or one guardian testify on their behalf at this trial? And believe me, guys, they tried. They tried. And they couldn't do it. They were not expecting what they received from our parents group, so we're very, very thankful for what you guys have done. The next group I want to give credit to, and some of them are here and some of them aren't today, is our attorney team. Now, you know that if you're going to go through a battle like this with the federal government and the Department of Justice, you better have a good attorney team. And we did not have a good attorney team. What we had was a fantastic attorney team. Fantastic. That team was headed by Tom York of the York legal firm, who they couldn't be here today. He was going to bring his whole staff, which is Don Sikowski, Cordelia Elias, and Chris last name. Chris, yeah, I forgot her last name. Consiglio. There you go. Thank you very much. But they're still doing some work on our behalf. So they were on a real time frame and they just couldn't get it. They did a tremendous job. But they didn't do it by themselves. We had a lot of support from our own within the state of Arkansas on that attorney team. One of the guys we had on that attorney team is Jim Brady, right back there. Raise your hand, Jim Brady. The good-looking guy with the yellow tie. That's Jim Brady. Jim works in BDS. He set foot on this campus and automatically he became one of us. He walked up and down these sidewalks. He went on the DOJ tours. He sat in on the questioning. I mean, he did all of that. And Jim, you did a great job and we appreciate what you've done for us. Sherry Robinson, where's Sherry? I know she's here, I saw her. Raise your hand so we can see. There she is, right there. Okay. Many of you know Sherry. She also was in this process in the early days. She walked up and down these sidewalks. She followed the DOJ around. She particularly helped us in our special education issues. Sherry became one of us also, and she did a really great job, and we appreciate you, Sherry, also for what you did. The other person I want to give a little attribute to could not be here today, Lori Freeman. Many of you know Lori Freeman. Lori was the very first attorney when this whole ordeal started to set foot on this campus. She became one of us instantly. She knew you, she knew your family, she knew your clients. She was here so much people thought she was one of our employees. She did a tremendous job. She did a lot of work, gathered a lot of information, and guided us through this process in the early stages. And we think Lori did just an exceptional job and wish she could have been here today. Now, when we move on from our attorney team, we have the Attorney General's office. We have a representative from the Attorney General's office here today, Mr. Brad Phelps, and he's going to speak on behalf of Attorney General McDaniel, who couldn't be here today. But I want to say this about the Attorney General's office and Attorney General McDaniel. He came on this campus early on. He toured this campus He walked around and he was very pleased with what he saw and asked us when we left, what do you need? What can we do for you? What do you need? So we want to thank him. Not only was Lori involved and Sherry involved, but there were many, many attorneys from the Attorney General's office that gave us support, and we thank them also. It is a team victory for all of us. The next group I'm going to kind of put together. Our DDS board was there. Dr. Green, Jamie Huddleston, Mr. Seeley. They were all very, very supportive, and a lot of their fight, guys, took place behind the scenes. As Mr. Carmack mentioned a little earlier, there was a lot of battles took place in the halls, and in back rooms, in the halls of the Capitol. These are the folks that talk to the politicians for us. They talk to the committees. They talk to the press. They ran interference for us through this whole thing, and we appreciate them also. And the last person I want to give tribute to could not be here today also, but it's Governor Beebe. Governor Beebe was very supportive to us in this whole process. And I'm going to tell this very short story, and I hope it doesn't get me in trouble with the governor, because I really don't want to be in trouble with the governor. During this trial, the governor had a speaking engagement here in Conway. And a couple of our parents were there, and I hope they don't get offended. Arch and Artie Jones were there. And after the governor's speaking engagement, when he was sitting around shaking hands with people, Arch and Artie walked up to him, and I don't know which one said which, but one of them said to him, "Governor, we thank you for the support you've given the Conway Human Development Center, and we ask you for your continued support." And here's the part that'll probably get me in trouble. The governor looked at them and said, "I'm here to tell you, we will fight the Department of Justice until hell freezes over." Then he said, "If it does freeze over, we're going to put on skates and fight them on the ice." And you can't get much more supportive than that. So with that said, I would like to again, staff, parents, thank you for what you have done. This is a huge, big victory. Not many states have done this. Not many states have even attempted to do this. So you have done something that other states have not done. So you should be very, very proud of that. And with that, I would like to introduce to you Mr. Brad Phelps from the Attorney General's Office, Chief Deputy Attorney General.